What's up, YouTube? It's Cholula's Comics, and I'm bringing you night 11 of my 13 Nights of Halloween special. Yes, night 11. Tonight, I am bringing you my Marvel Monsters Mashup mix. Doing a couple of different things tonight. One, I got a new background, as you can tell. I'm just using the background to my workspace, which hopefully is a little bit more appealing than what I've been showing. Also, got a new recording device with hopefully a lot better sound. I noticed the audio in my last video was kind of off. There was some humming, and that sucks because I worked hard on that video and I really liked it. So hopefully that's not too off-putting. But we got to do what we do and keep it moving. So without further ado, the first few books in the series of books that I'll be showing tonight, it's a four-part series titled The Supernaturals, printed by Marvel Comics, and this superhero team is billed as the most supernatural heroes of them all. The team is made up of Ghost Rider, Satana, Brother Voodoo, Black Cat, Gargoyle, and Werewolf by Night. Found out a couple of cool things when I opened up this series. I bought this series, I don't know, maybe a couple of years back. It is an older series, but I noticed that the copy that I have of issue number one came with a Dynamic Forces certificate of authenticity, that this was number 269 in a series of, it looks like limited of 1,500 copies, that was signed by Brian Pulido. And you actually can see that, looks like we have the signature right there in the front. So that was really cool to find out. I didn't know that, I didn't even know that I had it, to be honest with you. And it's right there, right on the front cover. But goes to show how much attention I pay to certain stuff that I buy. But anyways, another cool thing that I saw is it has this little advertisement there in the front. And what that says is that there's a free Halloween mask inside, and you can collect all five, including the rare Ghost Rider mask. I did open it up, and I got a chance to see which mask was in here. It's part of the centerfold cutout, and every single issue does have a mask. So you can see there, that's the bottom of Brother Voodoo's face. And just open it to the other side, and there's the top of his face. So at least the mask is intact, and it's in each one of these books that I got. So I'm happy about that. And here is issue number two. Pretty cool. You can see the living mummy there in the background, trying to get the drop on Brother Voodoo and the Black Cat. And I'll open this one up to see what mask I got in this one. And this one's dope. Got Werewolf by Night in this one. Let's check out the top of it. If I can find the top of it. There we go. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad that it's still in there. It's intact. Nobody's messed with it. Nobody's tried to take it out. And these are the last two books in the series. Looks like the team is going up against, looks like Dracula there and the monster of Frankenstein. And let's check out the mask in this one. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I got stuck with a bunch of Brother Voodoos after that. Which, hey, I don't actually really like Brother Voodoo, but I don't need all three masks to be Brother Voodoo. So I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get more of a mix of the masks that they had available. But and this is part four. They say the senses-shattering conclusion to the supernatural thriller. And it looks like they're fighting. You know what? If you guys know, let me know, because I'm not sure. He looks like a red dragon. I was tempted to say Fin Fang Foom, but I don't think it is Fin Fang Foom, because Fin Fang Foom is green, and trying to say Fin Fang Foom 3 times in a row is not really easy. And yeah, I got, oh, well, see, there is Fin Fang Foom there in the actual issue. So I wonder who the red dragon is. But anyways, yeah, I got stuck with the Brother Voodoo mask again. Oh well, at the very least, I do have all 4 issues still have the mask intact, and no little kid got to him. Next, Marvel Monsters Group number 1, Devil Dinosaur. This is another 4-shot set of books. They're actually 1-shots, but there's 4 of them all together that make up this title of Marvel Monsters Group. First one is Devil Dinosaur, and it's a really cool story. They bill it as the battle of the century, Incredible Hulk versus the King of Lizards. And then the really cool thing about all these books here is at the very back they'll throw in an old school storyline from the original Jack Kirby. I mean, you guys can tell that all of this art is influenced by Jack Kirby himself. I think this particular cover is actually done by Eric Powell. Um, but heavy Jack Kirby influence there. And then in the very back of the book, there's another story that's just basically a reprint of one of the old Jack Kirby Marvel Monsters stories. And as a matter of fact, I'm not going to pop this one open just because of the time, but this one is, I think it's the first appearance of the Hulk, and not this Hulk, but I believe his name is Zenmu. Um, if you guys have a chance, check it out. The first Hulk. That's not the original Hulk. All right, next, Marvel Monsters Group, Monsters on the Prowl. Again, another one shot in this I guess, 4-issue story arc. They build it as 48 pages of all out mayhem. Again, the cover has a very heavy Jack Kirby influence, and it's done by Eric Powell. It says, "Who can save us from the worst monster invasion in history? More monsters." And again, this one also has another cool storyline in the back, one of the original Jack Kirby's. And finally, Where Monsters Dwell, also part of the Marvel Monsters group. It's just another one shot. And man, who was it? It was either Leonard Hutchins or somebody on another video where I did my Jack Kirby monster variants. I was trying to figure out which monster this is, and I found out. You were right, it is Monstrolo. So good looking out. Appreciate you answering and helping me figure out. And this one is actually here. There's two other monsters featured in this book. We got Bombu and Manu. All right, and the last set of books that I have for you guys tonight. Really cool 4-shot. They're all one shots, but it's 4 books altogether that make up the series. And the first it's titled Legion of Monsters, and the first one is with Man Thing. And as you guys know already, a little bit about Man Thing. Man Thing's real name is actually Ted Sales. He's billed at being 7 feet and 500 pounds. He can lift about 1,000 pounds. He's really durable. His body is basically made up of plant matter and mush and like swamp goo and stuff like that, a bunch of ooze. And he's even though he's lost much of his physical mass, his body rebuilds itself and it draws new material as needed from his surrounding swamp. Similarly, he can ooze through or around openings or barriers, such as wire mesh or steel bars. And the Man Thing is extremely sensitive to emotion, which can affect his behavior and physiology. Mild emotions basically arouse curiosity in him and lead the Man Thing to observe events from a distance. And violent emotions, such as fear, anger, and hatred, cause him extreme discomfort, often provoking him to attack. Fear, in particular, causes him to secrete a chemical similar to like sulfuric acid, um, such that whatever knows fear burns at the touch of the Man Thing. The Man Thing's unique mystical chemical physiology makes him depend on swamp environments, particularly the Florida Everglades near Citrusville. And except on rare occasions, the Man Thing is virtually non-sentient. So that means basically he doesn't have his own thoughts or feelings. He reacts to emotion and other magical phenomenon, but otherwise he doesn't have any decision making capacity or memory. He does remember emotional patterns, enabling him to sometimes recognize people that he's met before, and on occasion, mystic and or chemical forces have temporarily restored the mind of Dr. Salis, but this has always proved temporary. Some of the groups he's been a part of are the Thunderbolts, the Daydreamers, Legion of Monsters, United States Army Shield, and his first appearance was in Savage Tales Volume 1. And I forgot to mention, every single one of the covers that I'm going to show next is done by Greg Land, and he did a freaking awesome job on all these covers. Um, Next, we have Morbius, also known as Morbius the Living Vampire. His real name is Dr. Michael Morbius, who's billed as 5'10", 170 pounds. And Morbius is a human mutate, and he possesses a variety of powers, much like that of a vampire. He maintains his superhuman strength, and basically, from what I understand, it's to the extent of how much blood he's ingested and he's drained of other people. That tends to make him stronger, faster, better, all of that stuff. His speed, his reflexes, he has agility, and he has accelerated healing factor as well. His sharp claws and his fangs, and he has the ability to glide on air currents because of his hollow bones. Morbius is one of the world's foremost experts on biochemistry and blood related diseases, and he's been part of such groups like the Midnight Suns, the Nine, and the Legion of Monsters. And his first appearance was Amazing Spider Man, Volume 1, number 101. Awesome cover done by Greg Land. I love this work. Next, I have Satana. And Satana's first appearance was in, I think it was Vampire Tales number 2. And she was created by Roy Thomas and John Romita Sr. Her alter ego is Satana Hellstrom. It's actually, I think it's pretty important to note that she's the brother of Damon Hellstrom. She's been part of the Avengers, Avengers of the Supernatural, Nick Fury's Howling Commandos, and Legion of Monsters, the Thunderbolts, and a team called the Witches. She also goes by Judith Camber, Melissa Ramos, or the Devil's Daughter. Her abilities are magic, fire manipulation. She has the ability to absorb souls, and she gains strength by touching weapons that have killed people, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I think she's labeled as a human demon hybrid. And finally, I think probably one of my favorite cover that Mr. Greg Land did here is Legion of Monsters Werewolf by Night. This character's real name is Jacob Rusoff, but he actually goes by Jack Russell, which I think is kind of funny because, the Jack Russell Terrier. But he's billed as 6'8" when he's in his werewolf form, but only 5'10" when he's in human form. He's about 200 pounds in human form, but in werewolf form, he's 300 pounds. And basically, under the moonlight, he transforms into a werewolf. So he's this large, powerful human wolf hybrid with superhuman strength, speed, stamina, agility, and reflexes. His enhanced senses include ultraviolet and infrared vision. He has razor sharp teeth and claws. He's able to rend light metals, so he can bend and manipulate light metals. He's resistant to many forms of conventional injury and virtually impossible to kill, though he can be severely wounded. He recovers from non-fatal wounds 10 times faster than any human would. But he is vulnerable to magical attacks as well as assaults involving silver due to his inherent mystical purity. When last seen, he had little control over his werewolf form, which was becoming more bestial and savage, and he likely has even less control under a full moon. So his abilities are also that he has peak human physical abilities and limited occult knowledge. He's been part of teams such as the Werewolves, um, also known as Night Shift, the Legion of Monsters, and Sarnax's Army of the Terror. His first appearance was in Marvel Spotlight number 2, and he is next to Frankenstein, one of the dopest ass monsters in the squad. Speaking of squad, have you guys ever seen Monster Squad? That's a great movie. That's my movie recommendation for Halloween night. If you guys have kids and are looking for a good family-friendly movie to watch, it's still got some scary parts in it. I mean, I remember being scared by it when I was a kid, and I just got distracted off some movie that was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. But that's about it, you guys. This is Cholula's Comics. This has been night 11 of 13 Nights of Halloween. Just wanted to show off some cool covers. Wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on some of these lesser known monsters. And that's about it. Hopefully you guys have a nice, fun, and safe time leading up to and through Halloween. And you guys enjoy. So, again, Cholula's Comics, I'm signing out. Until I see you next time, keep stacking hella comics.